It's story time. Come on, grab your friends. We'll go to imagination's end. Through song and laugh, there's lots of learning, and the fun never ends. It's story time. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I'm Allie from the Naples Library, and I'm here to bring you your Storytime Snippet of the week. Today is a little bit different. It looks a little bit different, doesn't it? I got this big old table in front of me, as well as some cans. Do you know what these are? I've got some grapes with me, and I've got grape juice. This is grape juice. So, today, friends, we're making grape juice. That's exciting, right? This time of year is a very, very special time of year for the little town of Naples. The leaves begin to change. It starts to get a little bit colder out. And when you drive through town, if you roll down your window, you can smell the sweet, delicious, fresh scent of grapes everywhere. And usually, during this time of year, the town of Naples is very, very, very busy. So busy that it's hard to get through town, isn't it? Do you know why it's usually so busy in Naples this time of year? Because usually this weekend would be the Grape Festival. We can't do it this year, unfortunately, but we can still celebrate grapes in our own way, right? So this Storytime snippet, we're going to be making grape juice so that we can celebrate grapes even though we can't have the Grape Festival this year. And grape juice is a really, really delicious, wonderful way to celebrate grapes. And one of the easiest things that you can make from grapes. Are you ready to learn how to make grape juice? So delicious. I'm going to take a sip just to tease you. I love grape juice. Anyway, so we have a few things that we need to talk about in order to make our grape juice. Sorry, my mouth is watering from that grape juice. There are a few things we need to talk about in order to make grape juice, like where grapes come from. Do you know where grapes come from? We know that they grow. Do grapes grow on a tree? No, grapes don't grow on a tree. Do grapes grow on a bush? No, grapes don't grow on a bush. Do they grow on the ground? They just sprout out of the ground? No, grapes grow on vines. And a place that has lots and lots and lots of grapevines is called a vineyard. This is a picture here of grapes growing on vines. That's how they grow. See? They grow on vines. And this picture here is a picture of a vineyard. That's what all the grapevines look like in a big, huge field together. And this one is from right in Naples itself. This field is right across from Hazlitt's, right downtown there. This is what grapes look like when they're growing. We're going to start out with some of the equipment that we need in order to make grape juice, okay? So we can all make it at home. It's really simple. First, you'll need both of your hands. And if you'd like to invite some friends over, more hands can't hurt. You'll need a lot of hands to make grape juice. And if you don't want your hands stained purple, like my hands are, because I was a little bit silly, you might want to wear some gloves. Otherwise, you'll have purple hands for a couple days, probably. You'll need a large bowl about this size or bigger, and maybe a couple bowls, depending on how many grapes you have. And you'll also need a strainer. This is a very fine mesh strainer. Do you see that? It doesn't have large holes like what you strain noodles with. This catches all sorts of stuff that wouldn't be caught by normal strainers. If you want to use a cheesecloth, they are even more fine and they let even fewer things through. This is a cheesecloth that I used to make our grape juice that's right in front of me. It was white. Grapes will stain everything. Make sure you're wearing clothes that are not light in color or they will destroy them. So you can use a cheesecloth to strain through or a mesh colander or strainer. You're also going to need one of my favorite things, a potato masher. We're going to have to mash all these grapes. Mash, mash, smash, smash. And you're going to need a big, huge pot to boil all the grapes in. Let me grab that from the ground. You're going to need a huge pot like this to boil all your grapes in order to make all that sweet, delicious juice come out. So step one, you're going to have to go to a vineyard and pick your grapes. That's how you do it. Well, if you'd prefer not to pick your grapes, you can go right to Joseph's Market. But I do find that picking grapes with others is so much fun, and it teaches us where our food comes from. So why not make a family day of it and go outside with all your kids and pick some grapes and bring them back? Keep in mind the grapes that you pick. So, I have my stats here, just a second. You're going to need a lot of grapes in order to make a little bit of juice. You need like 4 pounds of grapes in order to make this much juice. Not very much, right? Right, when they boil all down, they don't produce that much. So keep that in mind when you go out to get your grapes. So you're going to get a large basket. You wear long sleeves and a hat. Bring some clippers. And go fill up your basket with grape bunches. Oh, it's 1 pound of grapes that will make a cup of juice. I'm sorry, not 4. That would be crazy, right? 1 pound, 1 cup. Okay, everybody? Remember that. I made a mistake. So, when you go get your grapes, you'll bring them back. And they're covered in bugs. They're covered in leaves and dirt and all sorts of stuff. So, of course, you have to wash those grapes off. You can choose to put them in a big, huge bowl like this one and wash them off in the sink. Wash them off, wash them, wash them, wash them. After you do that, you're going to de-stem your grapes. I'm trying to make this as close as I can. You're going to de-stem your grapes. You pick all of the little grapes off of the stems. If you find any shrivelly, weird-looking grapes like this one here, you don't want those. You set those aside. You put those in the compost. You can compost all of the stuff that you don't use today. So we put all of our grapes in a big old bowl like this. Make sure that no stems get in. And when we're done, we'll have a whole bunch of grapes. I can't quite tilt yet. See how many grapes are in there? Last night when I did this, I had this many grapes. So many grapes. So when we have them in this bowl, we can transfer them to another bowl, little by little. Because we'll have like a huge amount of grapes here. So I find that transferring about a quart of grapes, like maybe enough to fit in here, or a little bit more, is the best amount to be able to squish them all. So, where did I put my potato masher? Oh, I found it. It was camouflage underneath the cheesecloth. We're going to take our potato masher and we're going to mash these grapes. Mash them right down. You hear them squish? This is where all the hands come in handy. We pick them off the stems and we mash them all up. Mashing, mashing, mashing. After we're done squeezing all the grapes out of their skins, which will take a few minutes. Oh, that smells so good. I wish you could smell on the other side of this screen. After we're done squishing all the grapes out of their pods, they'll look kind of like weird green eyeballs in there. You see them? When we're done doing that, we're a lot more liquidy. Blah. We're going to dump all of these grapes into our big pot. A big old pot. And we put that big old pot full of all of these grapes, all these mashed up grapes. We put them on the stove and we let that boil and toil and trouble for about 10 minutes. 10 minutes of boiling. And then you'll start to smell the delicious sweet smell of grape juice. Unmistakable. It'll start to look a little bit more like grape juice too. Look at that. You see all of the green is gone. And you can see the color of grape juice leaving its juice on the pan there. I can't tilt it all the way or else I'll spill them everywhere. Once you do that, you have to strain them. And that's, honestly, that's what takes the most time, is straining all these grapes. In order to strain them, so I used two ways. I tried them both because they mentioned the cheesecloth and they mentioned the strainer. They both work well. The cheesecloth is more effective. It keeps most of the residue out, but it takes longer. And the strainer lets more through, but it takes less time. So you can choose whichever way you'd like to do it. Honestly, to get the most juice, you might want to put them in a cheesecloth and leave that cheesecloth overnight to drip, drip, drip to get all the juice out. But if you're a little impatient, like me, you might want to use a strainer. So what we do here, we grab our other bowl, we put our strainer, see the strainer is perfectly designed to go on the edge of the bowl like this. Hopefully I don't drop all these grapes in the library. We'll find out. It might work better with a ladle, but I'm going to do it just by pouring all these grapes in here. And keep in mind that grapes stain, so don't wear any light colored stuff unless you want it to be stained with grape juice. And you can you see all that grape juice running out of the strainer there? Yum, yum, yum. The whole library smells like grapes right now. It's so beautiful. So that's one way to do it. Or if you're super brave, you can pour them into a cheesecloth. Be careful that the cheesecloth doesn't fall into the pan. That happened to me this morning. We'll pour them right into this cheesecloth. And this is messy, but it is a lot of fun. Maybe you'll enjoy it too. We gather the edges up like this. And you see that? See how that's just straining right out? And just squeeze. Grape juice. Squeeze it out. That is how you make grape juice. So after you're done squeezing all of that out, you'll have some juice in the bottom of your bowl, and you can choose to ladle it or just pour it right out. And hopefully I don't miss. Pour it right out into your jar. And you can drink it immediately. Oh, that's so good. Goodness gracious. So, you can choose to can these and keep them in your pantry, or just put them right in your fridge and gobble them up every morning. Ooh, that's so delicious. So now you know how to make your own grape juice. It's so easy. Let's go over the steps one more time. First, you pick the grapes. Second, you take the grapes off of their stems. Third, you mash the grapes with a potato masher. Mash, mash, mash. Fourth, you boil the grapes. Boiling it in a large pan. After you boil, then you strain. After you strain, you pour it into a glass. And you have grape juice. And purple hands if you didn't wear any gloves. And that is our Storytime Snippet of the week. Thank you guys for coming and learning all about how to make grape juice. I'm sorry I didn't tell a story this morning, but I hope this encourages everybody at home to do a little bit of cooking, a little bit of experimenting, and to really enjoy the local, delicious fruit that we have available in this very special town. Thank you so much. I'll see you on Friday when we read and learn all about grapes. And maybe I'll still have purple hands too. Have a good one, everybody. See you Friday. Bye.